Good? Great. So um, let's spend our time today talking about the there's two things. One is when you become a believer and you become alive, you're alive to God. You wake up, you become alive to God. Before you were dead to God, but now you have become alive to God. How many of you feel that that's actually happened in your life? You become conscious of God. You become alive to God. Good to have Patrick back. Patrick's been AWOL. We've lost you, but not for good reason. He was up in New York, and great to have you back. Do you believe that? Yeah, we love you. Good to have you back. Missed you. So turn to Ephesians chapter 2. I know Luke, sometimes he makes a coffee for me in the back sometimes. If I behave. Right now, it's not looking too good right now. Okay, so Ephesians 2. Ephesians chapter 2. All right, so I feel that when somebody is not a believer, they formulate by their own mind a philosophy about life that contradicts what we believe. So they contradicts what we believe. When we have faith and we have the Spirit of God teaching us in the Word, then we start to believe things about God and about His Word. One of them is about man, that man is not just an animal. Man is not simply an animal, but man is made in the image of God. So without God, and when you are dead to God, you start thinking in terms of like, who is man? He's like an animal. Man evolved from animals. That's what they teach. They believe that man has become what he has through time and chance over a long period of time and by chance. And he's nothing more than a sophisticated animal. Why do they believe that? Why do they believe this way? Because left to themselves and reason, without God, without faith, then they just think like that. We look like an animal, walk like an animal. Our hand is like an animal's hand. We have a conscience. We have emotions, etc. But all of this is a sophisticated form of an animal. Okay, you don't? Do you believe that? What I just said? I believe that's what they say. That's what they believe. Because I've been to school. I've been to their schools. I know what they believe about us, about people. It's all an accident, the world, millions of years, just buy a National Geographic. Or save your money and don't buy one. That magazine used to be, in my mind, it was an amazing magazine, but I have changed my opinion about it. Because, like, oh, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. So this is constantly given. Why? Because they are dead in their sin. Look at Ephesians 2, verse 1. You has he quickened or made alive who were dead in trespasses and sin. In time past, this is in your previous life, you walked, doesn't mean in reincarnation. It means before salvation, in time past, you walked according to the course of this world. So the flow of thought in the world, in the Western world especially, is without faith, without intuition, without the Spirit. This is just reason with the natural world, the natural life. No miracles. There are no miracles. That's another thing you learn in school. There are no miracles. It's all physics and science. And science is real. They say in the yard sign, the lawn sign. Science is real. What's another one? female rights, human rights. Every immigrant is human. Yeah, there's no illegal human, and those kind of sayings. So, if you settle down in your heart and mind and you think about each of those statements, you will realize that you actually think differently than they do. But left to themselves, dead in sin, we live this way according to the course of this world. Do you know what a syllogism is? I'll give you one. It's like a little triad of phrases, like one that C.S. Lewis used. I might be a little bit wrong on it, but it is milk is a bodily fluid. Milk is a bodily fluid. Milk is nutritious. All bodily fluids are nutritious. Okay? Milk is a bodily fluid. Milk is nutritious. All bodily fluids are nutritious. What's wrong with that? If you're not thinking, then you can say those things. You can be brought to a conclusion. You can say something that is a lie if you're not thinking. And the problem in our culture is that with our people thinking. And I have to say, in my mind, in my heart, the blessing that I have had in my life is that I came into a church with an open Bible made alive and started to think and talk. Thank you so much. Tell Luke he's a valuable person. Very valuable person. Thank you, Luke. Okay. So this is what happened to you. Like you came alive to God and you started to think with God. I'm not kidding you. Pastor Steve and Alonis are sitting over there. He's very good at this. Like he enjoys this subject, don't you, Pastor? What subject? I don't even know what we're talking about. About thinking with God. I think you're very good at it. And you care about it. I do too. I love rap sessions because it provokes us. Stay young. Keep learning. Keep talking. Keep listening. Stay in the game. Like stay alive. Because you and I have something. And this happened because we were made alive. This is chapter 2, verse 2. In the past life, now there are people that get saved, come alive, and they start, and then they get discouraged and they get taken out. They go back to like being what the psalmist called brutish. And the proverb is Proverbs 12, verse 1, I think. Yeah. He that loves instruction loves knowledge, but he that hates reproof is brutish. Brutish, like a word we don't use it a lot, I think, but like a brute beast, an animal, a bear, a wild animal, brutish, like people are refined. Like you go to school, you get refined, you sit down, you behave. You have order, you are refined because you are born again. So being born again, you don't become brutish, you get instruction and you love instruction. And if you love instruction, you will love knowledge. When you love knowledge, you become like refined. And you're not misled by a lie. Like what is it, like I said, that one, which was bodily fluids are nutritious, milk is nutritious, all bodily fluids are nutritious. Not true. But that's how they package lies and mislead people. So if people are not thinking, and that's very easy to happen, that we would be a non-thinking person, Okay, so look at chapter 2, verse 2. We walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air. That's the prince of the power of the air. So there is something about the air that is like beyond. We may not realize how much power there is in the invisible world of angels and spirits. We may not understand how they can change a country, a group of people, how they can do it in the air. There is power in the air. And I like that teaching about the serpent's scales in the book of Job. It says the scales are so close to each other, no air can come between them. And we use that verse, kind of proof texting it, to be honest. Like we use it to illustrate, it's not a proof text, but it illustrates that you and I should be so close to each other that there's no air between us. And what we mean by that is demonic air. There's no demonic air between us. We have the Holy Spirit between us. David and Jonathan, they were knit together. So that's our new life. The Spirit that now works in the children of disobedience. So I really think that Paul said it this way: I delivered the heretics over to Satan that they would learn not to blaspheme. How could you turn people over to Satan unless Satan has the real authority in the air or in this world? And that Paul, like turning them over to Satan, is that real or not? Could that be that Satan could have the authority over people? Yes, he can. Yeah. But we have been made alive, and in the text it says we are seated in heavenly places, not on the earth, not in the earth in that sense, but with God. So there we have escaped the corruption that is in the world. I think that's why Satan hates us, because he doesn't have the access that he used to have. We are hid with Christ in God, Colossians 3:3. And also, if you are married to an unbeliever, I think most of you are, you're married to unbelievers. Would you raise your hand if you're married to an Okay, if you're married to an unbeliever, 1 Corinthians 14, it says, the believing party sanctifies the children. Another indication of authority that is spiritual. Spiritual authority in a family where actually Satan doesn't have the authority because of you, because of us. Another one is 1 Peter 3:7. Husband and wife pray together that you have a oneness together, that your prayers would not be hindered. Like your life, you have authority in faith, authority in prayer. You actually have an authority as a married couple. That comes from God. That's amazing. I do believe that. So you can, I think, Eileen, you have a grandchildren you take care of, you and Wayne, and you have authority, helping your children and grandchildren. I saw a picture from Camp Life. I'm so thankful for Camp Life this year, how hard people worked for that, and parents sending their kids. And I just think of a bonfire, preaching, love, prayer. I just think of this as a beautiful thing happening by God's grace. Beautiful. Okay? So we were dead. We aren't anymore. We aren't anymore. We were dead. We're not anymore. Turn to your neighbor and build them up and just say, you look like a dead person, but you're not anymore. No, you're alive. You're alive. We're alive. Huh? We're alive to God. We got power. God, power, life, resurrection, power, life. We're alive. What does that mean? But our hearts and minds are alive to God. Means that we're alive to prayer. Other people don't pray like we pray. Other people, when I say we, all Christians, we pray. We have prayer. We have power in prayer. Jesus told us we have power in prayer. Ask, receive. We have power. All right, we were dead in our sin. Now we're alive to God. We love God. When you're alive, you love God. You love God. We are alive to God. We love God. Wow. Amazing. I was dead, had nowhere to go, just lost in my now faith. We live in faith. Here's a thing I want you to think about. Do you know, somebody told me this, when's the best time when you go on a vacation? When is the best time in the vacation period? When's the best time? I think they've done like research on this. It's the day before you go. It's the day before you go on your vacation. Why? Anticipation. The key word is hope. You have hope. You can imagine yourself in the car or on the plane. You can imagine yourself on the beach or in the park or wherever you go. You can imagine yourself reading a book, or you can imagine yourself walking or going somewhere. You can imagine yourself on a mission in Scotland or Norway. You can imagine yourself like doing, going, okay? What's the meaning? Listen. Faith is the substance of things you hope for. What are you hoping for? A vacation, But before it happens, you have hope. And there's substance in that hope. There really is. There's substance. How about, maybe you've never done this, but I have used car. I buy a used car. But the day before I buy the used car, I can see the car in my heart. I can see it, and I can see myself driving it. I'm very excited about it, that I have it. But I don't have it yet. But I could imagine. I could see it. So there is substance in that. Now, how about us? Maybe you're going to grow in this. I think we do grow in it. But I get excited about seeing heaven. I get excited about being with Jesus and the saints. I get excited about a great big fellowship, personal, intimate, a time that touches your heart, and your heart is on fire. I could see that. I could imagine that. I could anticipate that. That's faith. I have faith. I have faith, and faith is the substance of the things I'm hoping for. You see that? Like, that's a beautiful thing. Like, Bible school is starting in 2 weeks. I could see a class coming together. I could see being in the classroom. I could see us with some new people and their hearts on fire. I can see it in my mind, because we've been doing this for a long time. Right? What am I saying? The world is dead to that. But you are alive to God. You have faith in God. You have God. You have love, and you have hope, and you have an imagination, and you can see things. You can see born-again believers excited about Jesus. You can see that and imagine it in your heart. So we were dead in our sin. What did that mean? We lived with our foolishness, our emptiness. We went from one Friday, I don't know about you, I can hardly remember it was so long ago, but from one weekend to the next weekend, one party time to another party. And at the end of the party, I was there with nothing. I was dead. What did I do? I just acted like a fool for the weekend. What did I gain out of it? I don't even know who my friends are. What do you have? I don't even know where my life is going. I don't know even the meaning of it, of life. I'm a dead man. I'm alive, but I'm dead. It's not that good. It's not that good. When you are born again and you come alive to God, you find all this good stuff that happens in your heart and in your mind. And that's the gift of grace. And it doesn't die. It lives forever and ever. And it's not just for you. It's for anybody who wants it. And God is saving people every day by his grace. I heard of salvations in Norway. I talked to Michael Toll. I heard of salvations in Turner, Maine and Lewiston. I heard about one salvation in Morgantown, West Virginia. I've heard 4 salvations on Sunday morning with Kim Shibley preaching here. Like 4 I've heard about salvations in Marlboro. I told it in the staff meeting. One man lost. He weighed 400 pounds, is his testimony. He weighed 400 pounds. He was going nowhere, had no motivation, lost in his heart. And he came to Jesus. He made a big decision. And he got born again and alive to God. You know what happened? He got alive to God. He got hope in life, and he lost, in the last year, 152 pounds. He lost a lot of weight. Now turn to your neighbor at your table and have a serious talk right now on that subject. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't joke about it. I am sorry. I stepped over the line. But no, the point is that man's life changed because of Jesus Christ. And the guy, I ate lunch with him yesterday and Sunday in Marlboro, and he built me up. The guy's on fire for God. I was dead, and you became alive, right? And that's the grace of God, and that's written right there. All right, have a good day. God bless you. Try to behave today. Turn to your neighbor and just say, could you pick up your game? And just put on a good show. Come on, behave. Behave. Well, come on.